Hey guys, and welcome back to Pro Speed Baseball. Now today we're going to go over two crucial keys to make sure that you're staying on time at the plate. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, to understand timing as it pertains to hitting, we need to understand what actually needs to be timed. And there are two things that we need to time when we're hitting, and the first one is the obvious one. We need to time the pitch coming in towards us, and the other thing that we need to time is our swing into that pitch. So we have the pitch and our swing that we need to time. Now, we only have control over one of these things. We don't have control over how fast the pitcher's throwing to us, what pitches they're throwing to us, but we do have control over our swing timing and when we start our swing. Now, that's the thing that we have control over, we need to make sure that we are dominating how much control we have over our swing timing, and to do this, we need to know these two keys. And that is to make sure that we are loading and striding in the same exact place every single time. If we do this, then we are going to start to fire our swing from the same exact place every time. And if we are firing our swing from the same place every time, we're going to have much more control over our swing. So to put that in a visual, if I get into my load stride here, so let's say I get into a good speed load behind the shoulders here, and I get into a good pro stride, get a little bit of ground, got my foot open, get a good spot, and I'm in this position, and I time a ball up really nicely, and I get a good strike on the ball. Now let's say on my next swing, I come up to the hit, and maybe I don't get as much of a load, and my load doesn't get to the same place, and then maybe my stride steps out a little bit, and then I try to make a swing. Well, now my swing timing is either going to be off, or it's going to feel really, really weird, and it's just not going to be really conducive or feel good on a consistent basis. But if I get up to the plate and I get into that perfect speed load every time, and I get into that perfect stride, or perfect pro stride every single time I get to the plate, now my swing is going to start getting used to getting fired all at the same time from the same places. And this is critical for making sure that you stay consistent from game to game, tournament to tournament, week to week. If you are always firing from the same place, you're going to start getting those repetitions in to where you know when you perceive that ball, when you have to start your swing to make the best contact or the most efficient contact. Now, the drill we're going to do today is going to be a little bit complicated to set up. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's going to be very important to make sure you do this. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to go ahead and get into your pro setup and get into your stance width, just kind of like we did when we're working on our pro stride. We're going to go ahead and get into our pro stride. We're going to put a mark right in front of our feet. And it's going to be ideal if we can use a mirror or a camera. You know, a mirror is going to be the best. The mirror is going to be the best way to do this. So you can actually do this, you know, at home, in the reflection of a car, in the parking lot before a tournament, anything that you can use to have a reflection, and then you're going to use the floor to pay attention to where your feet are. So what you're going to do in the mirror portion is you're going to work on your load. And all we're simply going to do is we're going to make sure that we're hitting our stride, our load checkpoints in the proper positions every single time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off from face on, and we're going to go ahead and get into our pro setup. And then we're going to hit our speed load. And when we hit our speed load, we want to make sure that our hands are in the right place. So right there, we're making sure our hands are behind our shoulder and about that shoulder height. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark that spot on the mirror. So you can either mark it with something on the mirror, a piece of tape, something like that, or you can mark it to the corner of the mirror or the end of the mirror, wherever you have to do, mark it so that you know when you hit that, that's going to be your speed load. And what you're going to do is you are going to get into your pro setup, and you're going to load to that spot. You're going to check that spot, and you're going to do that 5 times in a row. And then what you're going to do is you're going to switch to the down the line view, and you're going to make sure that you're going to do 5 loads where your hands are in front of your head and in front of that vertical toe line. And you're going to alternate back and forth 5 times, especially the first time you do this, and you're going to do that for 100 repetitions. And then you're going to work on the stride. So you have your setup here where the balls are in front of your feet. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and make your stride. And then what you're going to do, let me go ahead and grab another ball here. Go ahead and get in your setup. Then you're going to make your stride. And you're going to mark your stride just like we've done in the pro stride drills. And we're going to mark that stride, make sure that our foot is in that perfect spot. And we can actually, ideally, if we could, we can put a little mark right underneath our foot. So making sure we're stepping on that same exact place every single time. And now all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get into our pro setup. And what you're going to do is just leave the bat on your shoulder. And now we're just going to focus on the stride foot. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stride onto that mark. 100 times. We're going to stride in front of our ball or right on top of our mark 100 times. And we're going to really start to get a good feel for where that foot's landing, how that feels, how far our stance feels, everything that we get, and we're going to start getting a lot of repetitions in, getting into that same place every single time. So after we get another 100 strides and another 100 repetitions in working on the stride, so we've got 100 repetitions working on the load, 100 working on the stride, now we're going to put them both together and repeat 100 more times, 5 and 5. We're going to do 5 reps face on, 5 reps down the line. That way we make sure we're paying attention to our load, and we're going to make sure that we load and then stride, okay? So after we get our 200 repetitions in, we're going to get another 100 repetitions in, getting into our pro setup. We're going to, from the face-on view, hit that point in our speed load, then do our pro stride, and we're going to hit both points. So when we hit that speed load, like from the statue drill, our hands are going to stay in that spot as we stride forward, and then we're going to reset, get back into our pro setup, load, making sure we're hitting that same spot, and then stride. And then we're going to do that same thing from down the line, so you can make sure that you can either have a mirror in front of you and down the line, or you can mark your feet on both sides. And then we're going to make sure that we get into our pro setup, speed load in front of the vertical toe line, pro stride. Now guys, another 100 repetitions in on that, and remember, make sure you do not count your repetition unless you hit the checkpoints and you hit your spot in the mirror. That's going to be critical. So that now what this is going to do is it's going to start ingraining you to get into the proper load and the proper stride, but more importantly, the same load and the same stride every single time, so that you can start maximizing your timing. This is going to be a very crucial, critical drill to get those repetitions in, so the next time you go out to play, every single at bat you have for that day, for the tournament, for whatever, for the month, you're going to be throwing your hands and firing your swing from the same exact position every single time. Okay, we'll go ahead, do another one from down the line. Hands and feet are going to be in the same exact position every time because we've gotten lots of good repetitions in. We're going to get really, really good swings, and we're really going to start to get a good feel for our timing, guys. So, all right, get those repetitions in. Remember, we got 100 with the load, 100 with the stride, and then 100 putting them together. And you're going to be well on your way to really dominating your swing timing, which is going to help you dominate your pitch timing. We'll see you guys in the next lesson. Now, if you haven't already, head over to prospeedbaseball.com and check out our free lessons and our online coaching program where you can work one-on-one with me as your own personal instructor through unlimited video analysis. And stay tuned for a bonus clip at the end of this video of one of our membership lessons from the website. Thanks again for watching. Good luck with your swings, good luck with your games, and we'll see you guys soon. These are all symptoms to improper sequencing in the swing and not getting the right amount of extension at the right time, or where we want to make contact with the ball in relationship to where we want to be extended after contact. And that's the key one. We do want to be extended after contact. Just before full release is when we're going to get maximum velocity on that object. So in a baseball swing, so if we go into contact and we make contact and then we have full release, then we're going to be maximizing our speed into the ball. So that all you have to do is set up the drill properly, make swings, and you're going to start syncing up your swing right away. And that's exactly what this drill is going to do. It's going to help us learn the proper motions to hit the ball correctly. So if I put a digital tee here where we'd want to make contact with the ball, ideally when we're practicing off the tee or we're hitting in the game, we're going to load stride here. You're going to see me get into contact here, and then if I'm still swinging out to this ball in front of me,